A new game of WWF Warzone. You know what? I've seen all the characters, well, wrestlers, and I think something's missing. Just give me a second here, guys.
A few moments later.
Okay, now to unveil my masterpiece. Let's just start the game. Versus. Load up my custom character, wherever he is. There! Load up my mans. Yeah, because wrestling needs more Blue's Clues. I gotta get this friggin' thing. Well, I haven't done one of these in a while, at least with this thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna wear this when I'm doing a commentary here. Oh, side note, if you're wondering, did the layout of the room change? Yeah, kinda. I moved my bed where the bar table was where I used to film, and I moved the TV over to this corner here. I think I brought this up in episode 14 of the Gran Turismo 3 Nostalgia Challenge. Watch that if you haven't. But anyway, let's get right into the topic. So, Nickelodeon did something that I didn't think they would ever do. They have announced a revival of Blue's Clues. In case you don't know what Blue's Clues is, number one, what's wrong with you? Number two, Blue's Clues was a live-action animation show that had two hosts in its lifetime, the most famous being Steve Burns as, well, Steve, we'll get to him here in a minute, and then the other one was Joe, who was a bit of a controversial host, I guess, because he replaced Steve, and that's simply a reason why he was controversial, I guess. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Joe, but I loved Steve growing up as a boy. Blue's Clues, next to Teletubbies and Pepper Ann, were my favorite shows to watch as a little boy, honestly. And to this day, I'm 20 years old, I'll go back and watch an episode of Blue's Clues on the down low, mainly when I'm bored. Seriously, Blue's Clues was a huge part of my life. Well, apparently they're holding auditions for the Blue's Clues revival, and John Cena showed up in the signature green striped polo shirt, you know, the one that Steve wore. Joe didn't wear it, Steve wore it. Now, some people are saying this was just a joke appearance because John Cena is hosting the Kids' Choice Award this year, and some people are saying that, yes, this is real, while apparently rumors are swirling that network executives are thinking about getting a female lead character.
Just bring back Steve, for Christ's sake.
Well, apparently Steve heard about all this and heard about John Cena auditioning, and I do it in air quotes because it's not confirmed if he auditioned yet, it's just a rumor. They didn't know if it was a joke or not because, again, he's hosting KCA 2018. Well, anyway, Steve Burns then shared this with TMZ.
I think if John Cena is serious about hosting Blue's Clues, he and I should wrestle for it. I'm calling you out, Cena, right now.
NANI?
He and I should wrestle for it. He and I should wrestle for it.
He and I should wrestle for it.
Yup, that was just said. Steve from Blue's Clues wants to wrestle 16-time WWE champion John Cena.
That's something I never thought I'd have to say.
I found out about this through Twitter, where I get a good sum of my news. I get the other sum of my news from YouTube. Honestly, I'm more surprised that they're reviving Blue's Clues than anything else, really. And I've already stated why I'm surprised with this. I mean, I plan to have kids of my own in the next 5 or 6 years, and I want them to grow up with Blue's Clues. So, I mean, I grew up with it. Great show. I wouldn't mind them watching. And I should also note that Nickelodeon's official Twitter account chimed in with this. Maybe we can find a green striped polo big enough for both of you. Now things are kind of interesting though, like, they said there's a green striped polo big enough for the two of them, and then that little green heart. What could that mean now? Would they consider two hosts? Or would there really be a wrestling match for this? Would Nickelodeon even allow a wrestling match over this? Would it take place in WWE? Would it take place at the KCA stage? How would this go down? I mean, granted, Steve Burns is engraved in Nickelodeon history with Blue's Clues, and John Cena's been making a name for himself on Nickelodeon, what with Fred the Movie, as bad as it was. And now he's hosting KCA, and honestly, he looks like he's going to be a really good host. I'm not even going to lie. But if there were to be a wrestling match, I think the outcome would be obvious. John Cena would win. I mean, come on, this is a 16-time wrestling champion we're dealing with here. And Steve Burns is a children's show host turned musician. And by the way, check out some of Steve Burns' music. It's actually really good. I'll link to one of his songs in the description. But overall, what do I want to see? Well, I have a few options here on what I might like to see. Option A, let's get both John Cena and Steve Burns there. Let's say Joe goes off to college and Steve graduates from college. Well, their next door neighbor, call him John, I guess. I mean, obviously, Steve Burns, Steve, John Cena, John, you know where I'm getting at. Have him decide to, like, be a next door neighbor, and I don't know, they could be like real good friends and come over regularly. So don't relegate John Cena to main character, but make him about as important as side table drawer. Or you could cast him as a mailman who delivers mail to mailbox. That'd be pretty cool too. I mean, given mailbox is in every episode, so it'd work out just fine. I mean, Mr. Rogers had a mailman, Mr. McFeely, so why not? Option B would be just Steve. Again, just like option A, Steve comes back from college having graduated, and he has some kind of degree. But anyway, he comes back from college, and Joe goes off to college. It would give the older audience, such as myself, closure with the college thing, and it would introduce younger kids to Steve Burns' excellence. Because honestly, it was him and Blue's great chemistry on set that made the show phenomenal. And option C, with hearing that they want to lean towards a female lead, make sure she's related. I mean, we already know Steve and Joe are brothers, and in the original run of the series, they never mentioned a sister, so if anything, make it a first cousin, okay? And again, if Steve doesn't come back from college, or he's like, I don't know, if they actually say he did something, like got a job or joined the army, highly doubt they'd say join the army, though. But anyway, make sure this female is Steve and Joe's cousin, and she actually has relation to them, because it wouldn't make sense to leave Blue with a total stranger. I mean, am I right? So let's leave her with a woman who's related to Steve and Joe, if we get a female lead. I mean, that'd probably be the most controversial, because it'd be, look, fans of an old franchise don't like gender-bending roles. Let's just make that clear, okay? And it's not a matter of gender or anything. It's a matter of purism, really, I guess you could say. We don't like our things being messed with. I mean, it can work. It can work sometimes. But other times it just doesn't work. So overall, hell, I don't mind. I think it'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing John Cena and Steve Burns have an epic wrestling match. I think that'd actually be really cool. Which option would I want to see the most out of the three I listed? My heart definitely says B, but I mean, my sanity wants to see A. Like, I would love to see Steve come back as the actual host, But then again, I would still love to see this wrestling match. So, let's just see where that goes. And without further ado, I'm out of here. You guys have a good night. And his name is John Cena!